Hey 24/7, today is Luke 18. It is Sunday, and after today, you have basically 1 week left of Luke, and then you will have read through the entire book of Luke. You have learned about Jesus' life from before he was born to after he died and rose again. So you're at the finish line. The end is in sight. Keep it up. Finish strong. Luke 18, you're going to read about Jesus telling a parable about a widow who begs and begs and begs and finally wears this judge out until she gets what she wants. You're going to read a story about a Pharisee and a tax collector being someone that the Jewish people hated, a Pharisee being people that they look up to. They go to a temple. They both do two different things at the temple. One goes home justified before God. One does not. Check that story out. You're going to see Jesus minister to children, and then you're going to see Jesus talk about being rich. So guys, pause this video, read Luke chapter 18. Okay, you just finished Luke 18. We're going to highlight verse 1. And he told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart. Jesus tells a story about a widow who goes before a judge because she has been wronged. And she goes and she pleads her case. The judge says no. She goes back the next day, pleads her case. The judge says no. And goes back, no. Goes back, no. Goes back, no. The judge in the story, he finally says, look, I don't care about this woman and I don't care about justice, but just so she'll stop coming around here, I'm going to give her justice because I'm tired of seeing her every day. And Jesus says, in the same way, you shouldn't give up praying to God. Not that God, and Jesus says this in the parable, not that God doesn't care or not that you're actually wearing God out. He's saying in the same way that this woman was persistent because this happened back in their day. Judges were corrupt. You had to be persistent. Jesus is saying just in the way that she was persistent, you have to be persistent. Because here's the thing. If you just pray about it once and you never pray about it again, are you really very committed to that prayer? If God hears from you once and never hears from you again on this subject, God kind of scratches his head and goes, I don't really know if they were sincere about that. I mean, obviously it wasn't a big deal because they just dropped it. Jesus, in another place, he says, prayer is like seeking. It is like knocking. It's about not giving up. You see, when we pray, and we pray for the same thing every day, it shows God that we're serious and that we're committed to it. And so when we pray these prayers that are the same thing, God, I pray for this. God, I pray for this. God, I pray for this every day, and show our commitment, and it's in the will of God. God says, I'm going to hook you up. That's what he says. Be persistent. That's what prayer is all about.